Hello. Hello. I am going to do art. Why? So that way I can goof off when I'm not streaming. Oh, you pig. Oh, Chapter 3 is great. Chapter 3 of Deltarune. Pig was texting me about, like, non-Deltarune spoilers. Well, okay, they texted me something and then said no spoilers, but... I was unaware where he is. Also, I'm just gonna put something in the Discord. But yeah. Chapter 3 is pretty dang good. You are completely valid for that, pig. We love lurkers around here. I hope you have a good time. I'm just gonna be drawn away. Cause that's what I do, you know? What was I just thinking of? Honestly, let's be real for a second. I'm ready to stop dating these. I mean, it's like YouTube and Twitch will do it regardless, so I guess there's, you know, me putting in the title is fine. The Lord. I really do not need people looking back on these in the future, because, like, what am I gonna say? Bad stuff be happening? Shocker. That's kind of how it is right now. I'm not trying to bring things, you know, too down. I hope y'all are okay with me spitting some facts at ya. I guess there are more opinions as we get started here. But yeah, I've thought about that before. Definitely today. Yeah, it's scary out there, but I'm going to. Among what I can do from Jersey, which honestly I feel like it's kind of business as usual here, but I'm also going to keep trying to entertain people, because goodness knows that nothing will improve if everyone's purely glum all the time. I am very anti-doomer, just in general, you know? Not to say that a little frustrate, I mean, I'm frustrated with a lot of things, but, you know, a little that isn't warranted, but still, in general, as a general approach, I'm just like, hey, don't be just, you know, don't be just going out there and being like, oh, there's no one, it's all bad. It's like, no, world keeps spinning. I think that a lot. World keeps spinning, you know. So, best we just try and be good people, and while it does so, and hopefully that'll have things right eventually, among other things. I've been spending too much time on, well, I say I've been watching some VODs. I won't say I'm not about to say whose VODs I'm watching. Well, I mean, it's like in general VODs, multiple streamers, and like, you know, you'd load up the VOD and you're like, boy oh boy, I can't wait to watch them discuss things and play this game, and then they are they are on that starting loop for a good long while, mostly just having to thank people for subs and stuff, because, you know, people were doing that as stream was starting. So, and like, completely valid. It's just funny. It's funny because you're just like, you know, like 5 minutes in should be good, right? There are like 6-hour VODs, so again, not of anyone specific, I'm not about to be critiquing people's VODs on here. Not throwing stones in this glass house, but it is funny. It's funny me being just like I'm really hanging out for a hot minute, right? And then what was I thinking of? And then just thinking back to the VODs I have been watching, and be like, well. But yeah. I will say, and I hope this helps some of y'all out there. I do legitimately believe that there is part of the way forward is just to be good to your fellow people, you know. Be good folks. As I don't want to say childish, but you know, I like that. I'm also pulling up reference pictures as I'm talking. I promise I'm not just doing this because I'm dumb. But yeah, as mayhaps naive as that seems, I think part of the solution is just to make sure you're being a good person, so that way, you know, eventually that's all there is. It's all just good people. Isn't that a nice thought? Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Put this here. Alright. Now I am ready to... Bam. There we go. Yeah, I do hope people out there, in present or future, are hanging in there, doing okay. I know plenty of people in my local streaming community are good folks already, so it's like those are definitely the kind of people I want hanging on. Goodness, scary face from my last comic. Please excuse scary face. No, he's just out here being a little edgy. Edgy and doomer are different. I know what I was saying before, that's not a contradiction. You can be edgy and not be doomer. It is completely possible. It just kind of, you know. I guess in some ways it just kind of depends what your what your specific brand, my brand, is. Also, I have not made like a, yeah, that's okay. I was about to say I have not made a panel in this in a while. We're gonna I'm editing these. Hello? Maybe my light's going out. Who knows? Who knows anymore? Oh, this is I kind of put this on the wrong layer. Like, it doesn't matter, and I shouldn't, but we're gonna fix that. Yeah. Lord, I will say, friend of mine, we're going to Disneyland next week, and normally I'm all over that, right? Fucking love Disneyland, but I don't know how much I could take a proper vacation right now, you know? Stressed about a lot and like need a break, but vacation, Vacation's like a lot of planning. I always like vacations where you don't gotta be planning or doing too much. Because then, ironically, there's less pressure, like, less pressure to enjoy yourself, because you didn't, you know, go crazy with spending on it or what have you. Yeah, I don't know how much I'd be, how much value I'd be getting out of Disneyland at the moment, so, which makes me sad to say, because like I said, love me at Disneyland, but gotta be strategic. I just let you know. And I guess I don't know how true this actually is, given that I'm no history man. Actually, you wanna know something? Here's what we're gonna do. I had all this. I keep fucking around with this rectangle. I just think back to hearing stories about like a lot of cartoons, mascots and what have you. They kind of struck it big during times of strife, because people appreciated laughs when that kind of stuff was happening. So all I can hope for is the same thing, not for the sake of my own success, but genuinely just hoping that, you know, this is doing its job of helping people do good. I don't know if that good. Have I talked about that? I feel like I might have. I talk about a lot of the same things on stream. That's kind of streaming in a nutshell, though. But yeah, just hoping cartoons can bring a smile to someone's face. I think even in the most dire of situations, that's important, you know. I feel like I definitely talked about that kind of mentality on stream before, in a general sense. I feel like I've talked about it while playing like games with friends, like Marvel Rivals. And I do not play Captain America. Oh, look at that. We're just like, gotta keep the morale up. Don't let the flame die out. You know, I actually saw a TikTok the other day by just pure happenstance about like SpongeBob, and like it was going over like the updates SpongeBob has had stylistically and technically throughout the years, and just by pure happenstance it was that particular TikTok was going over the period of time just at the end of what I've heard multiple people call like the golden age, you know, the end of season 5 and what have you. I thought that was very interesting. And very interesting to, cause like I watched plenty of stuff after season 5 for the longest time, until I kind of stopped watching cable television altogether. So seeing the kind of experiments they did just before fully transitioning to the one style that marked the end of that, and but both writing and what's it called? And both writing wise and art wise, very interesting. This is probably a batter someone will recognize. I don't fucking know who it is. I just need reference for someone swanging. Oh, there's the ball. Lord, it's chilly in my room. I don't know when the last time I said that was. But here's the thing. It was hot in my room for a while. Look, as I'd closed the ding-dang air vents. Hadn't opened them. So I was like, well, that's probably one reason I'm so hot. But now, like I said, chilly, cold. Alrighty. Well, let's actually draw. Shockingly enough. But yeah. Like I said, I hope people are doing as alright as you can be today. I know it's, you know, it's tough out there in a general sense, but I believe in people. So you got it. If no one else, I'm sure you got it. You know? What was I thinking of? Yeah. I will say, just because it's hard for me to think of anything else worth saying. I think people should be out there. I guess, like, you know, checking in on things in person, volunteering, and stuff like that. And I'm not too sure. I don't want to give the specifics because it's kind of, I feel like people don't recognize that it can be different person to person. After all, I'm sure the things people in cornfield Kansas what they can and should do is different from what people in New York City, New York should do. You know. But still. So I was talking the other day about the fact that in my comic, I'm trying to, okay, yeah, that works. I was checking something to make sure I'm not totally screwed with how we're working on this. I think it'll be good. We'll be all right here. But yeah, I was talking not too long ago about the fact that, like, due to the stuff I was into when I was a wee lad, you know, Walt and Willie's design ended up featuring baseball bats. I mean, not baseball bats, baseball hats. And now they're pirates. And they're still wearing baseball caps. Which I don't have a wild explanation for other than just that, you know, they be out here wearing baseball hats. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna keep drawing, but also I'd like to Google when baseball bats first popped up, because, you know, funny. Oh. It is fortunate for me that current villain of the comic, current bad guy of the comic, Sun Wukong, has considerably more realistic proportions than the brothers do. Hi, meat. Well, I'm glad you. I mean, I was just talking about activism, meat. I'm glad you're out there helping your friends. You know, that's a good thing. I appreciate you stopping by. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Go help your buddy. Yeah. Friendship, the power of friendship. And this gun I found while helping my buddy move. Incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful is the power of friendship and this gun I found while helping my buddy move. You would not believe. Also, let me check some other things. Okay. Dun 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 dun. I should hide this. Hide some things on my monitor and keep going. I feel like his nah. I want it to be like, I feel like Wukong's tail. Which would, you know, almost certainly be visible here unless he was purposely tucking it away. Would be out this way. But I guess not. Guess not. Man. You know, so I might not do a Monday stream next week, depending on how plans work out. I might have plans. Apologies, but I am planning to stream some off. I believe Pig streamed that a lot in a while ago, but there, you know, that was back before I had a whole Steam release, Steam and Nintendo Switch release. So I'm gonna stream that as it as it's coming out. I played some off before, but not the full game. I think doing that alongside Link to the Past will be neato. So I'm going to do it. You can't stop me. Drink water. You know, I was thinking about the fact that I follow a good few streamers who do like silent art streams where they just have the music on as they draw. And as I say things like, have I said that before? Probably said that before. That might be like smart to do. But I don't know. I know they also, when they do that, will be like actively typing in chat to communicate with some people as they come into stream, right? So it's not complete like meditation focus state. per se. Still clearly focusing, still clearly looking a bit at chat. It's kind of weird for me to not draw his whole monkey face here, but maybe a bit of I just think it's kind of cooler for the focus to be on the cannonball he's gonna be hitting back, as that is what will be happening. That was what will be happening in this particular comic. That's also one reason not just for a myriad of other reasons, which honestly I don't feel like I need to always explain myself to chat. That's so weird. That's such weird energy to have. But I mean it in a nice way. I don't feel like I have to just justify my every action to chat. But like that's one reason I was like, let me take a minute, you know, to where I'm not drawing the comic. Because in part is like, let me just think about what I'm going to do next, you know? As opposed to just always working on the next one and pumping it out. I am working on other stuff behind the scenes. It's kind of interesting. I saw an applicable video about someone making fun at, like, you know, bad writing practices, like i.e. stuff they were specifically calling it like stuff you do if you wanted to make a flop, and just making basic mistakes and what have you, right? And I mean, like, I was going through it mentally, thinking about, like, you know, with my other project, whether or not I do those things. But with Wallop Brothers, I feel like the whole purpose of it, for me, to some degree, as much as I'm trying to make it good and something people will like, is also just, like, make something to make something, you know? Have fun with it. Not that I'm not trying hard, but just that I'm not trying to take a million years behind the scenes to craft it into this big literary masterpiece. I'd love it to get there. That'd be fun. But I'm also okay kind of developing it into that in real time. If it becomes masterpiece, then it's like, yeah, I'm okay with saying it got there as it was coming out. That that maybe it wasn't perfect from the start. That can sometimes that's the beauty with a episodic series kind of thing, as opposed to like a movie or a novel, you know. Sometimes it's okay for things not to be perfect when they start, but then they get to not perfect but very good. Gamer, I'm so sorry to scare you with scary monkey face as you're coming in. Allow me to see what you were doing, gamer. Shout out at the Untitled Gamer. Legend of Logia. That seems cool. Welcome on in. Welcome, Raiders. I'm doing well. I hope your stream was well. Gamer. If you don't know me, I'm Cahill. I'm an artist who likes to play games. So I'm gonna go to Gamer's page real quick. That's all. We're not. That's loud. Okay, that's right. Just kind of. Cause like, what kind of game is that? What kind of game is this supposed legend you were going through? We've been playing The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past recently. Yeah, this is like an RPG kind of thing. That's cool. But yeah, we've been yeah. If you don't know me, I'm Cahill. I'm an artist. Like making comics, JRPG. Awesome. Yeah, we haven't been playing a lot of JRPGs here, but we've started Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on my real SNES copy not too long ago, so we'll be doing that tomorrow if you want. And then also, I was just saying we were going to be doing Off when it comes out, so if that seems cool to you, consider following. But right now we're working on my comic. I'll be making a comic about pirate. I know this doesn't look like pirates, but like, so right now I'm gonna talk about my fucking OCs. I hope you're okay with this. So right now, yes, here it is. My two main bros right here, Walt and Willie respectively. They made new friends who have run afoul of Sun Wukong here. Who, aw, thank you, me, I appreciate it. Who's run afoul of Sun Wukong here, Journey to the West fame. And last comic, he was teeing up to maybe do a bit more damage. Bring out a parrot, you got it. Parrot time. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah. I started a new save file on, speaking of like JRPGs and big games. I appreciate it, me. But you didn't redeem, so I don't have to. No, I'm joking. Oh my lord. What is this? No, okay, that's good. Okay. Wild. I don't know what's happening with my own fucking drawing space. Anyway, what was I just thinking of? Yeah, just speaking of like longer style games and stuff, I started a new save file on Monster Hunter Generations the other day. Because damn it, I like Generations. Here's the thing. It's clobbering time. I'm going to say something controversial. And I hope you will be receptive to it. If you don't get too angry, not yet. Okay, just give it. So I played Monster Hunter 3, right? Okay, you with me? I played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really good game, right? And I was having a real good time with it, okay? And then I went to move on to Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, a game that I know a lot of people think is the best in the series, and I wasn't as into it. I'm sorry. I know. Everyone hates me now. I'm sorry. I beat low rank. I did all of low rank. But I just wasn't. I like a lot of the monsters. Those are great. They got some of the best monsters, no doubt. But I just, in general, the game wasn't clicking with me as much. And I think the reason specifically was the Everwood, the kind of the expedition stuff they have going on. That wasn't really clicking with me. I'm sure it clicks with plenty of people, not me. And I think it's just because I'd prefer it just be like a map, you know, like an area. If they want to do, because I really like the idea of Moga Woods, and specifically what I liked in Moga Woods is that you were able just to walk there from the village and do whatever you felt like. That was great. And I see how this is kind of an evolution of that, but it's the fact that it's like almost like a Hades style roguelike labyrinth, which isn't necessarily one solid area. I like that. I would have preferred if it was one big area they had made. I probably would have been way more into it. Even if you can't walk there like Moga Woods, right? But instead they went for like this kind of roguelike design, and I can get it and kind of and can see where people might be real into it. But for me, it was no going, and I apologize for that. So I went back to Generations, because that's probably still my favorite game in the series so far. But the point of me going back to Generations is preparing for Fatalis at the end, which I did like a whole bunch of streams of before, and then I still ended up needing help from community members on that. This time I'm taking all the Monster Hunter. Thinking how Wilds is bad. No, Pig, I don't know if you have a horse in this race. I was talking about 4 Ultimate. That it wasn't. I like Wilds. I'm a Wilds defender. I was talking about 4 and it not really clicking with me. I don't know if you're like deep into 4 Ultimate or not, Pig, but for me it was not. Maybe it was a little over high. I don't mean to say that. I don't say that lightly. But I've heard lots of great things about it, and I just ended up liking 3 more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say. Generations is better. Like I just said, I think a core mechanic of 4 was just not really what I wanted. And thus, and thus that kind of fell flat for me. And I mean, without like the Everwood and stuff, like I feel like 4 has lots to offer, but you know. So went to new Generations save file in hopes that if I really try really hard, I can I can beat Fatalis by my lonesome. Before I named my character like some real fantasy stuff that I made up, then I just went with my name, and then this third save file, I'm just calling it Dragon Slayer Dylan. But really manifesting it, you know? But yeah. I do think Monster Hunter is good for me to get my mind off stuff. I wanna encourage people to activism, and I wanna do plenty of my own. But 1, this was before a lot of news. And then 2, even with news, I'm just like, I need a moment. Hi, Val. I hope you're not mad about my opinions on 4 Ultimate. And if you're specifically mad, and if that quiet mallow rage is specifically about current events, well then you're valid. So I was Cahill today. I'm surviving. A lot on my mind, but who doesn't, you know? What sane person doesn't these days? And that be how it is. I hope you're doing well, Val. Hope you're hanging in there. Etc., etc. How many problems do y'all think we could solve if we printed millions of hanging in there cat posters? You know? Is that what we're missing? I'm recovering well. I was going to say, I thought I had heard about some medical expenses on your end. I did not want to assume or speak out of turn. But I'm glad to hear you're recovering well. Lord, I work at in Val. I don't know if you'll have an opinion on this either. Feel free to say anything. But like, I work in a hospital, right? I bring people to the OR several times a day, right? So, and then I bring them back. So obviously I'm very desensitized to the OR. I am still, however, very sympathetic to any patients who might not be so stoked about going to the OR. I had some today. Understandable. The way some people I have less sympathy when like the entire family wants to come. Like, I will literally have patients I'm taking to like X-ray and their 6-person family wants to follow. And I'm like, don't! Hi, Paula. And even so, like, there's a part of me with, even in the OR, where I'm like, I get it, but also guarantee, I need you to understand, you might say hi to the nurses and talk to them. Cool, if you want to do that. If you want to do that, all good. You are coming back up here. You don't get to follow them into OR. I need you to understand that very much right now. So, like I said, I do try with the sympathy and what have you, but there is a point where it's just like, no, you stay here. You stay here. Yeah, I hope you're doing well, Val. Obviously, it's not fun going to the OR, even if you know it's all chill. Doesn't mean it's fun. Doesn't mean it's fun being stuck in the hospital for any amount of time. So. That is understandable. Lord, I literally also had a coworker at work today. So much work talk. Oh, that's good, Greg. I was just saying about, like, Monster Hunter distracting me and stuff. Weekends definitely help with that. And it's like, I don't have to go outside. Anyway. What was I also just thinking of? Alright, I literally had a coworker talking to me today about like, Cahill, do your feet hurt? And I was just like, I have been working jobs where all I do is stand. Like, the primary function of the job is me standing around the entire day. I have adapted beyond. Also, man, it'd be great if I remembered how to draw my own characters, you know? I'm pretty bad at that. Pretty bad at remembering how to draw my own characters. Yeah. Everyone except Val. Go out there and do something. I really want to, you know, not to get too on it this stream, but I just see I see too much of stuff of people being just like, here's the news. That sucks, huh? End of story. It's cool. I don't remember how to draw your characters either. I try to make them simple, but that's in part for me specifically. This character is easy to draw. I did that because I don't remember how to draw them otherwise. It's very important you make it easy easy to draw. Yeah, I don't know about y'all. I'd rather someone, I mean, maybe this is just autism. I'd rather someone be yelling at me to do something than just yelling. You know what I mean? Frankly, I prefer people not yell at all, but like I said, I try to you try to be sympathetic, so you understand where people come from when they get loud. Let's get loud. Let's get loud. Easy to draw. Easy to kill. Not my boys. Plenty out there that's easy to kill, but not my boys. I mean, again, if you haven't checked out my comic, our first little story arc was them taking a dip in the Fountain of Youth, so fucking they're pretty hardy. They're pretty hardy these days. Lord, I don't know if I've talked about this before. I remember as a kid reading the Captain Underpants books, right? You with me so far? And it's like, I would love it, and this also kind of speaks to old cartoons in general. I'd love it if I could just, like, make a living through no other means than having physical copies of this comic and handing them out to people for a nickel. And if some of you out there might be like, well, Cahill, you have a Patreon. Can't you make that a nickel? And then, you know, it'll kind of give you the same feeling. First off, inflation, and you know that. And then second off, I have tried. If you think I ever even made a Patreon account without initially trying to make the price for it a quarter, a literal quarter, then you have not, you don't know the inner machinations of my mind. I can confidently say. I am still a mystery to you. I've definitely tried to make the Patreon a quarter, and then it's been like, it has to be $1 minimum, so. At that point I made it $3 just so at least I get $1. I get my $1. Boom boom boom. Boom 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 boom. Yeah, Patreon is rough. It is how it is, you know. I appreciate everyone who supports me on there. It genuinely helps a lot, so. And also, here's a problem, right? Actually, here's what we're gonna do right now. I'm looking at more reference on my phone. Appeared. Manga. Just looking up some good old references. Okay, that's interesting. Unironically, I don't mean to be a, you know. Hello? Did that? Or do it? I didn't know. Huh. I was unaware. I was unaware that Command Z worked in OBS. Oopsie. We're all good now, though. Did not know that was a function of OBS. Oh, also, I don't know if this is like I don't know if this is exactly about to be like good news to cheer anyone up in these days. I did order a new computer this week. So if you've ever come to my streams before and been frustrated with my lack of facilities and technological know-how, that will be different next week. Hopefully next week. It's coming on like Thursday, so hopefully on next week I will be you know, have it all set up, ready to go. To some degree, I'm just planning to plug in my Mac, which I've been using for arguably far too long, and transfer over all the files and what have you that I might need to stream and do art. So, exciting times there. Finally, it'll be like I'm living in the distant future of 2016, where everyone has their own personal computer desktop, and you are able to easily download applications that don't need to be Mac specific, and be able to run games that aren't Doom. the game famous for being able to run on literally anything. Alright. You know what, I think we're about ready to get going here with the inking. It'll be fun. This is gonna be like a to plate up. I mean, I might honestly. I'm not gonna I'll be real with you, Paul. It's not on my super high up list, but before you despair about that, one, it's more possible in general, and then two, it's more possible, period, and then two, also, like, it'd be fun to do a stream or two of that, so, I just don't want to be like, yep, that's happening, and then, like, I'm still streaming, like, off and linked to the, but I'm still gonna be streaming from my fucking, I'm still gonna be streaming, like, my SNES and stuff, but yeah, the occasional stream, like, played up, maybe even play stuff like Peak with Zaid and some others, wouldn't be too bad. They would not be. We would have played up in at least a year. It got boring, but I apologize. It's definitely not like a game that's super my speed, but That's me. I have just in general kind of fickle preferences with the kinds of games I'm into and what have you. It is very what game catches my fancy is just like just fucking almost random. So this is why I didn't delete the reference shot. Just like, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, I got it. I don't got it. No one knows how to draw hands. Famously, cue the multiple clips I've said on stream, one of which was not even that long ago, of me being like, I've never had any problems drawing hands. That's my secret cap, I'm always drawing hands. I love that famous Mark Ruffalo line. I cried. The day in the theater where Mark Ruffalo said, "That's my secret cap, I'm always hands. I'm always Mr. Hands." Truly. Nothing was the same after that. Got no regrets inside of me. I can't begin. Oh, Sonic, we're really in it now. We're really reaching for the stars now. Yo, Stitch. I hope you're doing well as well. So keep on running. Sonic is very fun. Remember when I streamed like all the classic Sonic games. Honestly, I'll probably do that again at some point. Here's the thing. I like those games. And they aren't particularly long. That's like... Fucking, I beat Sonic CD in one sitting. And I fully expect that to be at least 2 streams. So... I don't... You know what the problem is? You know what the problem in here is? It's not that I don't know how to draw hands. It's that I don't know how to draw sports. That's what it is. It's so obvious to me now. I fucking suck at sports. Of course. I tried baseball once, and the moment my hands stung from the ball hitting the bat I was gripping, like I was done. And my parents were not happy about that. But no one told me baseball hurt. I used to go to Phillies games with my dad all the time. But no one told me it could kinda hurt. That being said, I was thinking, like the other day, I don't know why I was thinking this either. But like, have y'all ever heard about how, like, baseball players, like, literally retire? Like, in, like, their 30s. Because they're like, my body... It's done. It could base no more balls. Like, in I don't want to say ridiculous, but like truly, like unironically, the most ludicrous fashion, baseball just fucking destroys the people who play it, apparently. That being said, like, fucking, I don't know when I'm going to retire. 40 sounds great. Like, if I mean, if I could, you know, if I could, that'd be cool. I was just thinking, like, what age I was about to be like, what age did, like, Tolkien retire? But was he working to begin? He was a professor. But, like, obviously, you know, if I'm asking what age did Tolkien retire, fucking, I'm not asking about, like, his military career or his teachership. I'm asking about his writing. And I mean, he only did so many books, so he only did so many books, and he did a lot of short shit that his son had to put together. So, you know, I think I have to make this hand smaller. That's the softer. I need the hard eraser. Alrighty. Take two. Like I said, never any problems drawing hands. Hands are easy. Never listen to yourself or other artists. Great advice. Don't listen to yourself, but don't listen to others either. Who should you listen to? I don't fucking know. This small caterpillar resting on a leaf. He has it all figured out. And he's here to share it with you. Man. I mean, Alice in Wonderland. Lewis Carroll. Did anyone ever ask Lewis Carroll what the fuck was going on? Have any of y'all read Alice in Wonderland? I have. Do you want to know the fun thing about reading Alice in Wonderland? You realize every adaptation of Alice in Wonderland is bad. Because none of them actually really capture just the sheer randomness of it. This is happening now. Like, Alice in Wonderland is literally like Alice walks down the road and crazy shit happens. She just finds things wandering around Wonderland. And that's a chapter. And then that goes on, and then the book is over. It does not have narrative structure. And honestly, that's fun. But again, it makes you realize it's just like, oh, none of the movies do this. They all chickened out. None of them could handle it. So that's a fun thing about reading source material. I want to read Lord of the Rings. I was literally talking to Yems about someone about animating. Like, fucking, I don't got time for that these days, right? I probably could read Lord of the Rings if I really put my mind to it. Obviously, that's not as hard of work as animating something, but still. It's not like it's not a time commitment, you know? Just because I'm not actively making something while reading Lord of the Rings doesn't mean, like, fucking it takes negative time. Yo, can we invent negative time? When you finish your task, it's earlier than when you began it. And then you meet your grandpa and accidentally undo your own existence. That would be sick. Yo, man. Negative time. Coming to a Walmart near you. Anyone else think it's weird they only sell the inherent property of the universe, negative time, at Walmart? I just think that's what fucking brain. Up. You know, I've been talking some real stuff this stream, right? And as much as I was going on about not liking doomer philosophy, I do love when people are like, we're not approaching a dystopia, we're in one, right? Go with me on this, right? It's like, yes, but also this sucks and isn't fun. In other dystopias, you get to run around and commit, like in Cyberpunk, you get to run around and commit crimes and stuff. That isn't so easily done in real life. That being said, even though I'm completely aware of how dumb real life is, in general and at the moment, right? I still watch some episodes of Black Mirror. And I'm like, that invention is dumb. Truly, why would anyone, let alone most of the population, you know? I remember there was a few episodes where it's like, oh, that's good. But like I said, when the entire I like Twilight Zone where it can be truly whatever the fuck. Black Mirror, it's just like, it's always technology, and sometimes it's really just impractical technology. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's a really cool piece of tech, where it's like, oh yeah, I could totally see that. And what's this? It's gone awry? Oh no. But then at other times, it's like, fucking... I don't even use that for what it's for, let alone for unethical purposes. And like, yeah, there's some stuff like that in real life. But guess what? Plenty of people don't use it. So, like I said, I like it when it can truly get wacky with it. Because when my friend was showing me Black Mirror for the first time, right? It's like, the first time something wild seems to be happening, and the twist is some kind of funky technology, you're like, oh, that's cool. That's a wild twist. But then when it's every time, it's like, well, I know it's not gonna be that wacky. They're gonna tie it back into smartphones. So. Honestly, that's kind of one reason I switched to try and doing like something more inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh! than doing like Alex's stuff. Because like there's lots of times where I want the story to end on the reveal about Alex being scary and supernatural, right? But you can't do that every time. Because then it's not like a twist anymore. It's not a twist. It's not a surprise. Everyone's expecting it. The story loses something at that point. But then again, I didn't make Black Mirror. And they've made like $1 million Netflix dollars. So. Is it truly for me to say? I'm just speaking on personal preference, if anything. If anything. Gotta add details. But details are hard. Jarvis, add details. Lord. There's a guy. Me and a good few friends were playing Marvel Rivals a while ago. Right? And fucking... There was this guy on the enemy team who was often doing he was playing Iron Man and often doing the talking to Jarvis bit in like world chat, in match chat, so that way everyone could see. And we were obviously making jokes about that, but also I was just like, there's two possibilities and both, neither are good. One is this person is trying to make us upset, which I never good. Never good. Don't do that. Very rude, right? Okay, that's option one, and kind of what we were going with. The other option is they just like the bit, you know, and are unaware when it's coming across as overplayed / rude. That's also bad. That makes me feel, if anything, that makes me feel worse. No. I am never in any kind of public chat in a game like that. For those exact reasons. 99% of the time. Well, actually, I say that. It's not true. I think literally even in that game, we had some, not game, in that like session where we were all playing, we had some good interactions with some other people. But still, I don't. If it's a coin flip between getting an okay interaction in an online game and getting a very, very bad one for any kind of reason, I'd rather just not have group chat. I'd rather just be in a Discord call with my friends. You know? They are the bespoke people I want to talk to anyway. So, if I am solo queuing in Marvel Rivals, I'm okay not talking to people. I'm okay not talking to people a lot of the time. That goes in Marvel Rivals as well. So. But. No, I was telling folks to stay safe out there. That goes on the internet too. So. And that might also sound like a kind of naive, almost antiquated thing at this point, but it'd be crazy out there. Word. I remember, I don't know if anyone, I know other people have gotten it, like, in my local area. Actually, you know what? I was going to talk about like a scam going around, and I probably still could. It might be, but as I phrased it like that, I was like, actually, I don't know if this could narrow down. If this could like tell people where I live. So rather than say it, I will stop. I will simply not say it. That easy. Yeah, I got a thing saying my home address, but instead of this, it said that. Got my social security number, but it's supposed to be 1111111, and they went 1111112. Dummies. Weird. Honestly, I should shout this out because the guy did good work, but I don't watch a lot of his videos, and I just want to talk about this one specific thing. I remember watching a video about a guy who is working on this kind of whole thing to take down like scam callers and stuff. And that's like his bread and butter is doing this kind of stuff, right? But like he got a thing. He was tipped off that said scammers were like, if you see these guys doing this, beat them up and stuff, like genuine threats. And that's wild to me, because like you're the scam callers. You are taking your job way too seriously, unironically, when your job is trying to take old people's money. You have escalated this to an insane degree. Because what? You like lying to grandmas? That's crazy. It's crazy to me that someone could take such a scheme so seriously as like that, so seriously as to threaten violence upon a person. To me, that feels like jumping the shark a bit. If that had been in a movie, I'd be like, no way. There's no way people running fucking phone scams that call elderly communities would threaten violence upon someone trying to stop them. This is a made-up villain for a made-up story, but there you have it. Nuts, 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 nuts. This whole world is nuts, and I'm allergic. Also, let me look up some of how I've drawn Sun Wukong, because I've drawn him more and more, but like still not a super amount. Let me use this as a reference. Honestly, it's kind of hard to draw monkeys. They are wild little guys. I've definitely talked about this before. I remember seeing a thing about, I don't want to say documentary, but a video someone had, the people who made Cuphead did, and about like the making of Cuphead, and talking about how it's like you gotta be careful looking at like old animation references, because obviously some of the stuff there came from insensitive and inconsiderate just practices, so you can't just copy it one for one. And honestly, I just try to apply very basic stuff I know about old animation style to my comic. So I'm not typically looking at like direct references, but it is an interesting and worthwhile thing to point out, and you do kind of gotta give them their respect for that. Being like we were being very careful, being very careful not to reference any particularly nasty cartoons from the time. No, with my drawing pad. Oh my goodness. I'm so bad at this. Truly, an artist's worst enemy is drawing the most basic of shapes. I love seeing videos of people who can draw, like, you know, like perfect circles, and then them doing it for other people who are impressed, especially if those other people are artists. Very fun. I switch wildly between just like chugging energy drinks and then chugging water. And I mean, like, there's definitely a reason for that. The reason being, like, energy drinks kind of make you thirsty. They do not hydrate you, right? But it's interesting to be like, I am craving and chugging this thing, which I know for a fact is altering my brain chemistry, versus I am chugging the most just like bog standard beverage on God's green, the thing everything drinks. The drink that if it's doing its job correctly is essentially not affecting my body at all. I'm just getting in and getting out. Lord, I need to do y'all know, I don't even know what anime it's from, which goes for a lot of things. There's like a video of like an anime girl standing in front of an empty classroom and talking about water and being like, I drink the water, which I need to live or something, and then my body pisses it out. Just getting so mad about the Sisyphusian trial that is hydrating yourself. That is niche. That's the thing, right? There are memes and internet jokes where it's just like, I don't need to memorize this. Why? Because I say like one part of it, everyone knows what I'm talking about. No problem. But then there's like wildly specific ones that I know because maybe I've seen it too many times, or maybe I saw it once and it stuck with me, right? And those are the ones I feel like I have to memorize specifically, because if I don't get it word for word, no one will know what I'm talking about, and no one will know what I'm talking about in general. But if I know it verbatim, they'll be like, that has to be something, what is that? Then I'm like, you see. allow me to grant you some culture. This is coming out pretty good. I was like, are we gonna need 2 streams for this? Probably. I'm probably not gonna stream like all night tonight to get this done. call it a little early, because, you know, well, not early, but just, you know, I want to play some more Monster Hunter before I go to bed, you know, sit in bed, take a breather, play some Monster Hunter, and then I gotta get up for work tomorrow. This will be better though. There we go. Yeah. Like I said, sometimes just I guess I didn't say this, but it's kind of about moderation, you know. You gotta take your breathers. Even if you're kind of in the middle of it all, you need your moments where you're not just going 100%. The entire time. You know, I haven't seen MASH. This seems like a weird transition. I haven't seen MASH, but that's what it seems like. I've seen like clips of MASH and it looks fun, and it also just kind of looks like a sitcom of guys during their downtime in the Vietnam War. Which it seems to be pretty lighthearted given that topic, but I honestly would. Like, there's classic movie channels. I want classic movie DVDs. There are probably those out there, right? I want more physical media, and I'd love a DVD set where it's like some good old movies in multiple meanings of that word, but also like not just like the best movies of all time, you know, like just random ones that have been screened. People are like, we like these, maybe you'll like them, and it's just stuff to pop in the player and play. There should be more like that. DVDs that are essentially commercialless fucking, you know, TV schedules from random days. That might exist. I haven't seen it, but I want it now. Something that is essentially just someone having recorded some channel broadcasting old movies, a random selection of them, and then just being like, here's a DVD to replay at your convenience. I imagine what I've just described is wildly niche, which is why I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. But humor me. You know, because I was thinking about this the other day. The thing with like even streaming or DVDs is like, because of the way it is, you're like, I guess what I want to watch is like this series, right? You know? But, like, maybe you don't want to watch all that series. You just kind of want that vibe, you know? You don't want Teen Titans Go actually forever. You don't want that kind of experience. But you need to put something on. So then you just put on like you put on like One Piece, because like that has 1 million episodes, and like you've seen it and you like it. But what you'd prefer is like some episodes of One Piece, and then some episodes of Dragon Ball, and then maybe like some Invader Zim for whatever reason, like that kind of stuff. But if you wanted to do that via DVDs or streaming, you'd be manually switching to each of them, which is not, you know, not wildly convenient. And you don't get to choose, and with cable, because I know some people are probably just thinking like, Cahill, just get cable if you if you miss it so much. But with cable, you don't get to choose. So maybe the shows you like aren't even on any channels at all anymore. That sucks. That was the case for me when I basically just switched to watching, you know, videos full time, yada yada yada, right? And even if if they are playing, then you got commercials. So it's not like the people who made the television show are seeing that kind of cash anymore. These are reruns. And not everyone has that Seinfeld kind of contract. So not everyone makes like 10 cents for every second of their show that's being broadcasted on network television, while also always having their show broadcasted on network television. Sorry, Jerry. Or I know Jerry Seinfeld has had some bad takes over the years. Has he ever done that? Has he ever been like, kids just don't want to work these days? And it's like, Jerry, you famously have got one of the best contracts in television history. You didn't have to do anything after your show was over. Maybe he has privately, and then even the people who he knows privately were like, hey, bud, maybe not that one. Or that is why I will never do stand-up comedy. I have tried it. I have tried it once or twice. But stand-up comedy involves like trying it out with some people before you even know it's kind of good a little bit for an audience. And fucking I don't like asking people I know to like proofread my writing. I'm not asking them to listen to my stand-up. Fuck that. Absolutely not. Heck, at least with writing, you can kind of normally ask strangers to look at it and be like, do you like this? There are methods of doing that. I feel like the closest thing I could get to practicing stand-up with strangers willingly, like people willingly, would be like this, kind of. And even then, that's not great. Not great for actually simulating a stand-up environment. What's the deal with airplane food? Lord, I kind of want to look that up. It's definitely something from Jerry Seinfeld, by the way everyone says it. And I don't know what the deal with airplane food is. Was that from like an episode of Seinfeld that he said that? I know I haven't watched a lot of that, but I know like he would start with like comedy bits. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. I've also never been clear on that. Is the show Seinfeld a fiction? Is it one of those things where the main character of Seinfeld is Jerry Seinfeld, but it's fake Jerry Seinfeld and not real Jerry Seinfeld? Is that what we're doing? I feel like it's from one of his stand-up shows. Almost certain. Like it's just the way. I don't even have to know anything about Jerry. I just have to listen to the man talk, and I'm like, this is the doo-doos, and what's the deal with airplane food? Just the way everyone has ever said it forever. Yeah. You know, especially with stuff going on, I'm not about to be like, stand-up comics have it so hard. I mean, I say that. Could you imagine? In multiple ways right now, could you imagine? Being like, oh, I gotta get on stage and make people laugh about stuff. Not great. Like, that's ostensibly kind of what I'm trying to do here, in a general sense. But I'm not trying to, like, outwardly... Like, it'd be cool if I make people laugh. But more so, I'm being like, let's just hang out. And just, like, you know, chill for a bit. That's more what I'm... Chilling is more my thing, right? I don't have to like sit here and stare at you guys and be like, so do you like it? That's literally what I was talking about before. But still. Think about that in terms of like doing it for a crowd of random people off the street of fucking New York or whatever. I'm good. Lord. I didn't even stay to watch the whole video, but I've seen at least one video where it's like, comedian owns heckler, but then when you actually get into the video, you realize the comedian has set it up for their, for their, like, you know, to promote their show and stuff. And now every time I see a video of a heckler in any setting, I'm like, is it that again? Because it's a good bit. Sometimes that kind of stuff isn't cool. Being just like, I have faked this situation for the purposes of garnering the attention it normally garners, right? Sometimes that's not chill. But that one was good. I can admit. I can respect. Lord, I got... Occasionally my family eats outside, right? I got bit, but I got I got bit up around like my ankles and shit not too long ago when we were doing that. And I still got bug bites. Does that happen to you guys where it's like it becomes summer or what have you, you know? And you're just like, going outside, and then you do so, and then the next day you're like, wait, bug bite. Bug bites exist and happen, and I have become a victim. I forgot about this aspect of just nature. You know, it's kind of more like flimsy, loosey-goosey than I kind of meant or was even in the reference material. Oh, so I'm kind of rolling with it, you know? Like, I don't mind it too much that I want to start over. And I kind of like the feeling it gives. That way the mosquitoes are out, and I think they spray around town. Oh, that's good. Yes, mosquitoes are nasty. I was literally having a conversation with my friends today about, like, just animals in general. And, like, I kind of just think all animals are chill, right? Like, I'm not about to have beef with any of them. Mosquitoes are different. I think everyone knows mosquitoes are different. I don't think anyone would go out their way and be like, no, mosquitoes are good and important. It's like, no, they're pretty bad in a lot of ways. The amount of nasty stuff I've heard about and seen, and when you learn about it, it's like it starts with mosquitoes. It's like, of fucking course it starts with mosquitoes. Why wouldn't it start with mosquitoes? Mosquitoes are like a fucking game of Among Us. God put them on the earth to see if we could determine which animal to vote off. And we've been choosing wrong for a while. But eventually we're gonna fucking figure out. Mosquitoes were the ones that could and should go. And the town officials can't keep up with the mosquitoes, so they spray down the town to deprive them of food. Damn. I know what I just said. That might be overkill. Just the word deprive them of their food. And I'm not feeling bad for the mosquitoes. It just seems like the town's going through a lot to keep the mosquitoes out. Oh, nope. What the... wait. There we go. I had changed some settings as I was working on other stuff the other day. Whew. Or another stream, another just like... I'd prefer not to go back to work tomorrow, you know? That would go down smoothly. If someone not from the community came into my street, and not like, I guess it might be different if it was an influencer I recognize, but still, even then, they're like, here's $20,000. Keep streaming. I don't know if I'd be able to trust it with how things are. I feel like I'd want to fool myself into it. Is all I needed to see. I'm glad you like it, pig. I feel like one of the reasons I'm like not like, no, give the pose and shit more power is to kind of give, like, I'm gonna give it lots of effects and stuff, and that, but also to kind of give it the idea of just like, he's not like trying, you know? Like, he's launching the cannonball back at full force, but that isn't necessarily something he's straining to do. He's just kind of teeing it off at the right angle. That I'm okay with conveying, as opposed to not even business casual. He's wearing sweatpants. I actually don't know what these kind of pants are called. If I'm being honest, I just kind of gave him Goku's pants. And yes, I'm aware of the... I'm aware. I know. Yeah, I get it. Did you know? Originally, Dragon Ball Z was based on the video game Doki Doki Panic. When it was localized to the West, they changed the name to appeal to American audiences. And that's how we got Dragon Ball Z. Crazy to think that Birdo wasn't an original Dragon Ball character. Did you know about the super obscure connection between Dragon Ball and Journey to the West? I did not. I did not know about that. Hey, you know, I've been speaking about keeping, like, morale up and shit, right? If you like Dragon Ball at all, and maybe, and you've watched Z, and maybe, who knows, maybe GT or Super didn't hit for you the best, consider going back and watching or reading OG Dragon Ball, like OG Dragon Ball through Z. It's a good ass time. If you just know Z, then you have a treat ahead of you. So, it does start out as a comedy, to be fair, but like, honestly, I've said this before. OG Dragon Ball to Cell Saga is an S tier anime, IMO. Blue Saga starts to bring out some problems that Toriyama left hanging around, and then, you know, then from there you have to deal with extended universe stuff if you so choose, which is that's a whole other kettle of fish. Stop zooming in on his crotch. I just want to add some detail. don't need the crotch pixels. Monkey tail. I don't know about the... Not only does Japan got those very polite deer, I also got the monkeys in the hot tubs. Because if you don't know, Japan has like a few hot springs resorts in their cold, cold mountains. And then a bunch of monkeys found them a long time ago. And they were just like, we also like hot tubs, apparently. So then the humans built the monkeys hot tubs so that way they could have their own. And people could come see them in their hot tubs. Was it saying? Nah, because he was just a monkey. Sun Wukong's name before he became Sun Wukong, when he got a teacher, was just Monkey, because he was just a monkey. And monkeys just call each other monkeys, apparently. In Journey to the West. In Journey to the West mythology, monkeys just call each other monkeys. Yeah. I feel like primates in general are real fucked up because, you know, they are human-like, but they are vicious. But I'd still go see monkeys in hot springs. That seems like a fun time, you know. Also, if you haven't read Journey to the West, I haven't really either. I've read like the first act, which is just Sun Wukong, right? But yeah, it literally starts with his birth. He is birthed from he hatches from a stone. And then I watched like a summarized version of it, and apparently later it's revealed there are 4 primordial cosmic monkeys, and Stone Monkey is one of them. You know, aka Sun Wukong. Well, that's fun. Sometimes it's really fun to dive into old mythology, purely for the purposes of finding some stories that are classics, but also you're like, what the fuck is happening? Truly, I do not understand. I don't understand. Did Monkey Show ever come out? I don't think they've had. It's ironic. I don't think Marvel has ever done anything with Hitmonkey like they promised they were going to a couple times. And the funny thing about that is one of the few things I know about Hitmonkey in Marvel is that, like, people don't know he exists. I learned this from like a Deadpool comic where it's like Hitmonkey is a legend and people don't really know that he's real. So the fact that also along with that, apparently they keep failing to make shows and movies and stuff about him. That's funny. Yeah, when you brought it up, I remembered it, Paula. I don't think it ever went anywhere. Honestly, I feel like any Marvel show that came out, what connected to the MCU or not, animated or live action, it would get a little people talking about it because there's plenty of people online whose whole deal is talking about Marvel stuff as it comes out, right? So like an R-rated Marvel animated show would garner attention from at least a small section of the internet for a little bit. So not seeing anything about it definitely gives me the impression of no, it never happened. Which, you know, unfortunate. But as much as I'm, you know, the first to stand up for the animation industry, like I've been saying this stream, some bigger problems at the moment, so they can leave the Hitmonkey show for the time. But we can take another swing at that later. Scary face. Listen, man. I just said apes can be terrifying, so. So much like us, and yet also they will just fuck shit up. Hello? That's insane. Paula, Paula, I believe you, but also I don't believe it. You know what I mean? I believe that's the answer you got. I don't believe the Hitmonkey show ran at all, let alone for 3 years. That is insane news to me. Alrighty. I'm thinking I'm gonna call it and go take myself a breather before I start the next day. Let us find someone to raid, and we can call it a night. I appreciate y'all coming on by. It means a lot. Really glad to hang out with y'all. Hope you had a good time. Can I post a link? If it's to the Hitmonkey information, yes. I don't think you'll get timed out for that or anything. I think you're good. I'm thinking we might read Kiwi. IMDb, yep. Damn. Does it have like 2 seasons? Date, Hitmonkey returns. I don't believe this at all. Better than expected? That's the first review. My review would be, it exists? Yeah, I'ma just raid Giwi. It's always a chill time raiding Giwi. So, we'll do that. And I will see y'all tomorrow, hopefully. Probably do a bit longer stream. thinking about current events is never good when you're like, you know, doing an art stream, and it's like, me and my thoughts, right? So, honestly, I was happy with how the stream went, considering that. And yeah, I will hopefully be seeing all y'all tomorrow for more of a game-centered stream, and then we can chill out with and have a good time. But anyway, I'll see y'all then. See you later. Bye.